All right, everybody, welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Chris Maselli. With me, as always, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. The Avalanche with a 4-2 victory over the San Jose Sharks, wrapping up their season series with San Jose 3-0-0. They won them all. And I don't want to say you can expect that, but maybe you should. I mean, this is an Avalanche team, obviously at the top of the standings, and a Sharks team that is in kind of a rebuild mode. But the Sharks gave them a game. They gave them a really good game with really good goaltending. So we will break it all down and look forward to the Saturday game, which is a big one. Cross-country games. It's a home and home against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So all of that and then some. Follow the show on social media outlets, LOPN_Avalanche on Twitter, Locked On Avalanche on Instagram. Questions, comments, concerns, opinions, lockedonavalanche@gmail.com. And follow the show over on our YouTube channel over on YouTube. And we will get the live stream sorted out ASAP. We are working on it. Apologies that we can't do it live at the moment. We can't do it live at the moment.
Can't do it live.
Can't do it live. So, all right. And of course, thank you for making this your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. All right, Kyle. So Avalanche 4-2, and it was not set in stone until the third period. Really, this thing, until you got that Andre Burakovsky goal to make it 4-2, you really weren't comfortable. This was a really a good game down to the wire. Kakkonen was spectacular for the Sharks. He kept them in this game. All in all, though, like the Avs were in control for most of it, but this is one of those games where you're like, if it's just a bounce is going to go the Sharks' way, where they're going to tie this thing, get it into overtime, and anything's possible then. But didn't happen, but still a good game, an entertaining game.
It was one of those classic Avalanche games that we've kind of endured the last 2 weeks, where Avalanche score and they allow their opponent to score, and it's back and forth. And then until everything opened up in the third, both with the scoring and the physicality, you never felt completely comfortable. Even with the last couple seconds ticking off the clock on a power play,
yeah, they almost had
still didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah. You had big goals by guys that needed them from the Avalanche. Started with Alex Newhook, and I'm when I say this, don't think I'm like comparing the two guys, but he was in that like Tyson Jost mode where he works his butt off all the time and doesn't have anything really to show for it on the stat sheet. But he got on it against the Sharks. First goal of the game, but he had an opportunity earlier too. He was one of his better games. He was everywhere on the ice. And how many shots on goal did he have? Where is he here? Newhook, only 3. But, man, it didn't seem like that. I mean, he was facilitating. He was getting into some good areas and getting some good looks. So he had the goal, and that was it. I mean, he didn't have any assists or anything on the day. But he needed a goal, and he got one. Darren Helm obviously needed a goal, and he got where it needed anything, really, and he got one. And then Burakovsky, and this is kind of the MO. We always talk about Burakovsky. He's hot and cold, and he was on a cold streak, and he got another one for his 19th of the year. So, this is the stuff that we talk about all the time. The guys that you need to step up, and, those bottom 6 guys need to facilitate and produce. Did that against San Jose.
And the thing that you might forget about when it comes to this first goal with Newey, that was a McDermott setup.
Oh, yes, baby.
And he's like, I know he's got this role, but he's starting to figure out the scoring thing. If it's not him himself, he's starting to figure out how to set players up and set teammates up. And for Newey, when Newhook got that goal, the amount of confidence he played the rest of the game.
Oh, huge.
That was what he needed. And how long he could sustain this amount of confidence, we'll see, because we see how that affects Burakovsky. Like, he was scoring in, I think it was like 2 or 3 games in a row, and he was tallying points, but then drops off again. So we're seeing how long Newhook can sustain this. It's good to see him back scoring and back with confidence, because that's honestly all he needed. And to see Darren Helm rip that shot the way he did, it wasn't just a junkie goal. That was a goal he also could get confidence from and take that to his line and boost that whole line up. So these goals from these players that we talk about all the time, we talked about in the last episode, this is a game primed for that secondary scoring. You got it in this game.
Yeah. You had Mikko Rantanen with the other goal on a power play, a fantastic pass by Nazem Kadri. After he was out for a couple seconds, he didn't go out for too long. It was just an unfortunate series of events. He got, some people are saying it's an egregious cross check. It wasn't. I mean, it was a check, and there just happened to be another Sharks player there off to his side who he kind of his face smashed into, but he was holding his shoulder or his arm. So it wasn't really like I was concerned about, his head or a concussion or something like that, but he was grabbing it. He was kind of like limping, when you have a separated shoulder or something like that. Came off the ice for a little bit, but when he came back, it was like he didn't miss a beat. And you poked the bear pretty much, and had a couple shots on net after that. But that pass over to Rantanen was that was a Nathan McKinnon like pass on the power play. Was Nazem Kadri doing it instead over to Mikko Rantanen? Beautiful play.
And after what we witnessed in the Stadium Series with Grubauer, I don't trust hockey players' butts. And when I saw Nathan McKinnon, with Nazem Kadri go into a hockey player butt, I think it was Hurdle.
I think it was, yeah.
And just lay there, you're like, oh, this is not good. And he's grabbing his shoulder. You're like, oh, this is really not good. But then I bring up Nathan McKinnon coming back from injuries. You think they're going to be out for a while. Nazem Kadri comes right back out there, and he doesn't just occupy space on the line. He gets out there and sets up a beautiful, meaningful pass. That pass had aggression in it.
It was awesome.
And he set up that pass, and Mikko put it home. And then that was that one moment you're like, okay, we're back in. We're okay. We're okay.
It was great. And to back up on McDermott, I think I'm drinking the juice, man. Like I'm turning the tide on him in a good way. I'm feeling good about how he's playing. I don't feel like he's a liability out there anymore. He's not going to be that guy that's going to be getting all these minutes. He had another 9 minutes and change. That's what you're going to get from him. I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. And when he's out there, I'm not picking apart all of these dumb mistakes that he's doing. I do if this is just the course of a season for him, and he's used the season to improve.
Yeah.
I don't think you can take that away from him. So, and he's, being on top of all of that, of just his game progressing, he's always going to be the muscle.
Yeah.
So I'm turning the tide on Curtis McDermott, almost for good. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm waiting for him to just mess up again. Everybody's going to screw up and everybody's going to make mistakes every once in a while, but I'm not to the point where it's like, oh, regular old Curtis McDermott doing what, he's put enough games together where I got to start giving him a lot more credit and saying no, he really worked on it. He really worked on wanting to be a part of this system and a part of this team. And now he is.
And you could see, again, back to the point of confidence, like we were talking about Newhook and his goal. I think these string of games that McDermott's been putting together, you could see the confidence in his play as well, even though he's getting his usual under 10 minutes. But he's contributing when he's out there, and you could see in the way he skates, it really stood out to me in the San Jose game. His feet are very active.
Yeah.
He took a puck and reset and set up the forwards moving behind the net, and he had some active feet. And I was like, okay, Kurt, I see what you're doing. Let's go, bud. And when he's out there, it's gone from, like you were saying, it was like, what's he going to do now? You're kind of relieved to see him out there because he's going to take up for somebody and he's not going to mess up, and he actually might put it in the net.
He's done it twice this year,
mm-hmm.
and he's got a pretty decent shot, but he's facilitating on sometimes on offense. He's not a zone exit mastermind by any stretch of the imagination, but he can help out. That's what I like about it. He can just help out in more ways than just beating guys' faces in.
Yep.
And that's important. So, all right. A lot more to get to with this game. But first, we are going to hear from, we have Hellofresh. I don't know if you've ever used Hellofresh before. I have. My wife and I got it a couple years ago, and it's that ready to eat meals that they just send to your house.
Yes.
2 thumbs up to this stuff, man. Like really simple instruction on how to make your meal, and they're all really good. Excellent. And then you can kind of like diversify what you want to order, and they have like a menu online which you can pick what you want for your next box. It's kind of like open to your food palette and how you want to eat and what meals you want. If you want to go towards like vegan style, you can do that. If you're a meat eater, you can do it. Like they have like a calendar of like a menu up for the month, and you can like pick and choose which ones you want, and very simple instructions, and they give you everything right in the box. It's
right up my alley.
Great. You get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You can skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's the #1 meal kit in America. You get farm fresh seasoned produce and easy to make recipes delivered right to your door every week. And it's all about convenience with HelloFresh. Not only do the ingredients come pre-portioned, so you're not overbuying or wasting food, which is a massive problem in my house, but it's easier than ever to get filling meals on the table in a snap with options like family-friendly or quick and easy recipes. So go to hellofresh.com/lockedon16. That's locked on 16, and use the code locked on 16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Once again, hellofresh.com/lockedon16. You won't regret it. It's really, really good stuff. Also, stuff that you already know is good. Built Bar. You know it. You love it. Best tasting protein bar on the market. And we keep talking about these Built Bar Puffs. Check them out. They are the first ever protein infused marshmallow bar. They are fluffy, marshmallowy, and they're not just a protein bar. They're a treat and covered in 100% chocolate. And the puffs come in a few different flavors like cinnamon churro, coconut marshmallow, and banana cream pie. And I think there are still some of those. There was a brownie one available. I think that's still available, but that is a limited time one. They're a low calorie, high protein. Replace your candy bar with Built Bars or Built Bar Puffs, which have 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 grams of net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Go to built.com, use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off of your order. Once again, LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. Man, how we like to overreact and say that it's all doom and gloom and, what are we going to do? And the season is over. Well, I wouldn't go that far. But Nathan MacKinnon played in this game. Oh, yeah. And wasn't he injured? And he was going to be out for who knows how long. But we were all thinking the worst, understandably so. Seems like when injuries happen to the Avalanche, especially their superstars, they're out for a while. And he went back to Denver from Calgary, got some x-rays. They were negative. And you kind of maybe could have said, like, you could probably take this game off. I'm not slighting the Sharks or anything like that, but maybe give him a day just rest up. And how I was saying, like, you're not going to stop Nathan MacKinnon from doing this again, from fighting guys and playing aggressive. You're not going to keep him off the ice if he can go out there. That's just how he's built. And I don't think he scored. Did he have anything on any of those assists, goals? I don't think.
He didn't. So.
He didn't, and he only had 2 shots on goal. So he's not 100%. I saw somewhere that he did break a finger. It is a fractured finger. So he's not 100%, but he can still do. Remember early in the season when he was just an assist machine?
Yep.
He could do that. And I think he's good enough to get a shot off where he's still capable of scoring. But the fact is, we were all thinking the worst, and he missed 1 game.
When this news broke that Nathan MacKinnon was in the lineup, I checked the date on my phone 800 times because at the time of this episode being released, it is April Fool's Day. And I was like, there is no possible way. There is no possible way. And then you see Nathan MacKinnon out there and you're like, okay, whatever. And then game time and you're like, this is actually real. He's out there. Granted, he's not 100%, but his presence is what matters.
Yeah.
Because everybody game plans for Nathan MacKinnon. You know, that's where the talent is. That's the superstar in the league. And the Sharks, of course, gravitate to him. So, yeah, to your point, this would be the perfect time, even though he's not 100%, kind of play the dummy, play the decoy here, gravitate like you did at the beginning of the year, let everybody come to you, and you become the assist machine.
Yeah.
And wait for your buddy Gabe to come back.
Do you think Jared Bednar plays that game that we do of like, oh no, like this is the worst possible scenario? Because he like this is the second time, not with MacKinnon.
Ryan Murray.
Yeah. With MacKinnon, he came back after one game, and the language he was using was, it's high, it's high. Like my concern level is high. And with Ryan Murray, it was, he's going to be out a while, and he was out a few weeks, but it wasn't as much as what he was saying. Now that's not him. I mean, he's just relaying the information he's getting. So it's not like he's making the determinations on how long these guys are going to be out for. But, reading his body language and the words that he was using, especially for Nathan MacKinnon, do you think it's just is this calculated, or he's just worst case scenarioing it?
I wonder if this is his sick way of playing a joke.
I don't know, man.
Bednar has he has that one tone for everything. If he's happy or sad or mad, it's that same Bednar tone.
Right.
I wonder if this is his way of breaking up the 800 questions he gets every time somebody's injured on what's exactly going on. You're telling me UBI, LBI, and he's just he's going to be out month to month.
Yeah.
Might be season to season. And then people just run with it.
I know.
I wonder if it's just him just getting people riled up. My concern is very high. That really says
don't. Yeah, that's not nice. That means man.
Everything and nothing all in one sentence. And
it's not nice. It's not nice. Stop doing that.
Come on, Bedsy.
Talk about the goalies, and two really good games, or two goalies, one really good game from both of them. Kakkonen, the first goal from Newhook was reviewed. It was challenged. I should say that it was challenged because JT Compher was in front of Kakkonen, and I guess they thought that he made contact, and he didn't. I mean,
hockey player, but
it was very minimal. Did it change the outcome of the play? No. So he was asked about that, and his response was, they said they didn't touch me. I felt somebody touching me a little bit, but it's one of those calls that I think if we're at home or whatever, they might disallow it. On the road, it's 50-50. It's tough.
Did Kakkonen ever watch Angels in the Outfield, where that pretty angel is holding the hand to rubber the shoulder of the guy?
Yeah.
Nobody else sees it, but the guy knows something's going on. That's what was going on.
Is that it?
Get over it, Kakkonen. Yeah, you got some of that Minnesota Wild still in you.
It really wasn't that bad. Just like the he hasn't left that in Minnesota. He brought that with him. Yeah. It wasn't bad. And if you think otherwise, tell me what team you root for, and then I'll tell you your answer. So there was that. What else? There was something else I was going to bring up too. Just go ahead.
No, it was a incredible game from Pavel Francouz. Another one of his get in lockdown, even though the game was punch for punch. I think that's going to be his MO. I think he's settling into that bend, don't break. He stays in front of the game. He never lets it get away from him. And I think that's a really, really good characteristic that he's taken on this year, where Darcy could just get in and lock down. Francouz never lets it get away.
Yeah, it's true. There's never really, I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's ever been a game where it's just when the floodgates open up on a goalie and just can't stop anything. They're just become, the sieve. You're right. You're right. He's been locked down. He's been so good this year. So good and so reliable. And what do you think, when the playoffs come around, do they change the way they use these guys? Do they keep it going? Like, you have Pavel Francouz play maybe once every 3 games or something like that, and give Kemper a break every once in a while, or because I know in the playoffs you lean a little bit more heavily on your ace. I I would be fine if the Avalanche didn't do that and gave Francouz a few starts throughout the playoffs. I know it would depend on how the games are going and if they're down and how the goalies are playing. I know there's a lot that come into it.
If I was Bednar, I would put Darcy Kemper in and do a 2-1 rotation. 2 games for Darcy, 1 for Francouz. If you're working on a sweep, Darcy takes it to the next round. And just work a 2-1 rotation. And if it gets to the point of somebody tweaking something, go every other. Or you could skew it the other way. But the 2-1 rotation, for the way the goalies are playing right now, Darcy's your clear number 1. Frankie can come in there, stay warm, but keep you in. He's not going to cost you a game, and you're not. No. It's not a liability to put him back there.
No, like I've been saying all year, you are as comfortable with Francouz as you are with Kemper right now. Doesn't matter who's in there for me. They're both aces. So we'll kind of forward that question for the next 2 games that the Avalanche have. So we'll do that right after. What do we have? We have betonline.net. And when is this Final Four? This is like whenever you get to like the finals in like college, it just seems like it's another month that passes before they play the games. It drives me crazy. But it's this weekend though, I believe, right? Because I think so. It's got to be. It has to be. All
I'm going to watch is that UNC Duke game.
Everybody's looking forward to that thing. So, after months of playing, college basketball has determined the top teams for the Final Four, and it will determine this year's national champion, I should say. BetOnline.net is your number 1 source for all of your betting needs and sports info, from all the latest odds, contests, and player props. You name it, BetOnline.net has got it. It remains the best spot for all of your latest sports developments, including podcasts and reviews for all of the leagues this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your continued source for all of your sporting wagering information, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and all the action. That's betonline.net. It's where the game starts. All right, so we got a sound. Well, who are you rooting for before we get to the soundtrack? Who out of these Final Four? Who's your?
I'm UNC, baby.
You're UNC. All right. I would love to see Coach K go out with a win. I know some people, like, he's very divisive. He's been coaching as long as I've been alive, literally as long as I've been alive. So guys like that. But I've always been a Villanova fan, kind of too. So if it's Villanova and Duke, I won't care. Yeah. But we'll see. Should be interesting. All right. Sound check time and songs or song titles that best summarize the game against the San Jose Sharks. Follow this playlist over on Spotify. Just search LOPN Soundcheck. And every time there's a game, we'll come up with a couple songs, add them to the playlist. What do you got for Avalanche Sharks?
It's going to be another left field suggestion from your heavy metal guitar dude. This one's a banger right here, and it's from Mark Morrison, and the song is just called "Return of the Mack."
Absolutely.
That's a vibe. This hits the playlist. It is such a good song.
When did that song? That was gotta be mid 90s, right? Yeah,
it had to be like 97.
But what exactly is the Mack? What is the original phrasing of that song? What is like the return of the original Mack?
Like the Mack isn't it like just like it's the term for like swagger, like your guy that like return of the Mack, like you've been out of the game for a minute, you come back, you got your swagger. Like the Mack was like swagger before swagger.
So remember Crisscross?
Oh yeah,
like they were like the Mac Daddy and
Mac Daddy
and the Daddy Mac. Yeah.
Wear your jerseys backwards.
Yeah. Whenever my wife tells me to put something in the microwave, my response is warm, and she always says, "Warm it up, Chris." I'm about to. If you have no idea what we're talking about, just go listen to Crisscross. Crisscross back in the day was like it.
Yeah,
that was like, they were
hot.
massive.
They were hot.
So I
used to wear my clothes backwards because of
because of them. Yeah, the first ones to do it. So great pick, makes all the sense in the world for me. I'm going from some of my favorite books are a series of sci-fi / satire books, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and written by Douglas Adams. And in the first book, if you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie. The movie is very good, but read the books. The books are absolutely incredible and hilarious. And in the first book, which became a title of a book later on, there's one book called So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. And that is what the dolphins say when they are leaving, because Earth is about to get blown up, and all the fish just like skyrocket out of the ocean, and they leave this note behind saying "So long and thanks for all the fish."
Thanks for the fish.
Maynard James Keenan from Tool has one of his few side bands, A Perfect Circle, and they have a song called "So Long and Thanks for All the Fish." And because we are no longer playing the San Jose Sharks for the rest of the season, and we don't have to see them anymore, and we swept them, we bid you adieu for the year, San Jose Sharks.
So, I had no idea Maynard was affiliated with Perfect Circle. I never dove into. Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh yeah, and you will like the lyrics to that song, because that song is all about. It was a couple years ago. And he's saying there's a lyric in it that goes Ali, he goes Willy Wonka, Major Tom, Ali and Leia have all moved on. It was written in the year when all four of those guys died. So
wow,
it's a brilliant song. So those will be on the playlists by the time you're listening to this. Great song, great album. So that's our sound check. All right, Saturday, and then 2 days off on Sunday and Monday, and then again on Tuesday. The next two games the Avalanche playing, both against Pittsburgh. Have not played Pittsburgh in probably since when Douglas Adams first wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. No, it's been a long time. So the first game Saturday, big game, because not only you're playing Pittsburgh, and that's obviously your West Coast versus East Coast. It's going to be billed as a potential Stanley Cup final. It's on ABC, so you're getting a lot of recognition. So that right there is kind of a big game for the Avs. How do you see these? Well, I guess we'll focus in on the Saturday one. We'll talk about the Tuesday one, kind of based on the Saturday one for Monday night when we record. What are you expecting between these two teams, Crosby and McKinnon going at it?
Yeah, Crosby and McKinnon, best friends from the same area. Mm-hmm. Like everybody, like the OG Avs fans remembers those Timmy Horton videos they used to make where they're both in the drive-through. Like they're best friends. So to see them playing against two of the top teams in the league playing against each other, this is on ABC.
Yeah,
like. This is new eyeballs just like scrolling through the channels on a Saturday. Oh, hockey's on. Oh, I've heard about this team on Sports Center. You're going to watch. This could be, we talk all the time. The Avalanche never get the notoriety. This is a perfect opportunity for the Avalanche to turn it on, score a touchdown. We haven't had one of those games in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Score a touchdown and really cement some new Avs fans, the fringe Avs fans, and fringe hockey fans that, hey, Colorado's legit this year. Look at what they're doing. Rattle off all their stats. This is we talk about measuring stick games. This is a opportunity to make a statement.
Yeah, you're right, because people that tune into this are going to see that. Like ABC is going to put up all these graphics and how, they have 102 points on the season. They're the only team with 100 right now. You're going to get Cale Makar's stats and what he's doing from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, you're going to get stuff on Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen. You'll get it on Gabe Landeskog, even though he's injured. They're going to throw a lot of info out about the Avalanche and how good they are. So they can't go and lay an egg. You can't follow that up with a dud. And I don't think they will, because, this one's at home. The one on Tuesday is in Pittsburgh. So, you should play well in Ball Arena in front of the home crowd. And they know, this is a nationally televised game, ABC. You got to get up for ones like this. You know what I mean? So you're right. I think at this stage in the season, we're into April now. This is not, middle of the season, which maybe, some of the kinks are worked out by then, but you're cruising right now. So you can't go out there and just lay a dud, because you're going to have these people watching me like, that team's got 102 points. Like, what the heck's going on? Yeah. So it's a big game, because a lot of eyeballs are going to be on it. And then they're going to remember that, because in a month from now, when the playoffs start, some people maybe go back to them like, what, that was an entertaining game. That was an entertaining team. They're a fast team. They know how to score. I like scoring. I want to see scoring when I watch hockey. So it might be a cyclical thing where people will come back to you if you can really put on a show for them. That's what they want to see.
And this is the platform we've been asking for, and this is the opportunity the Avalanche need. Like, you want to be taken seriously? Here's your opportunity. Go get it done.
Yep. Yeah. And there's nothing really else on that day. It's your normal basketball games and stuff like that, but yeah, you're going to have people watching it. So go out and give them a show. So we shall see. Real quickly, we were talking about goalie situation. Does Kemper start both of them? Does it matter what happens in Saturday's game, or is it all but guaranteed they'll each get one crack at Pittsburgh? What do you think is going to happen there?
I say Darcy on Saturday, Pavel Francouz in Pittsburgh.
I could see it going either way. Wouldn't surprise me, because what's after that? Let me look up real quick. What's after?
I just say, because again, this is a national televised game. You want to put the best out there. You don't want to be on national TV Kemper, and say, this is my backup goalie.
Yeah, Kemper will be out there on Saturday, especially because he didn't play against San Jose. Mm-hmm. So you got 2 days off, and then Tuesday's in Pittsburgh. You're off Wednesday. You're off Thursday, and then you're in Winnipeg. So you have a game, 2 days off, a game, 2 days off.
Alternate.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. So, and then someone will give up 5 goals and get pulled and throw this whole thing into disarray. So, all right. We will be back. Yeah, we will be back on Monday to break the Saturday game down against Pittsburgh. Should be fun. Up until then, thank you for making this your first listen of the day. And actually, Monday's episode will be episode number 500 for Locked On Avalanche. So,
wow.
Thank you to everybody who's been around from the beginning, or if you just got in on episode 498, thank you for that too. So, and thank you for making it your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. Go check out Locked On NHL for your second listen of the day. And Kyle and I will be back on Monday to discuss anything that goes on with the game, obviously, and anything else. We'll talk about it on Monday. Until then, he is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli, and this is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. Have a good weekend, everyone, and we'll see you Monday.